Now, last weekend, I ran 120 kilometers in 3 days. Let me explain. Now, this was for a corporate charity event called the Quebec We Sont, and we essentially ran from the CN building in Montreal to the CN Tower of Toronto. And now, before we get into the run and explaining how it worked, let's start from the night before the run. I'm about to have my final bowl of pasta. I've had 4 over the last 2 days, and finally I can't wait to eat it. Carb loading is a necessity. So as you can tell, I was very carb loaded because I ate so much pasta. But then after eating the pasta, it was time to prepare my bags. So for the clothes, we have 10 of everything. We have 10 shirts, 10 shorts, 10 socks, 10 underwears, a few pajamas, and a swimming short because apparently there's gonna be a lake. And I'm gonna wear this in the morning. This is for carbs and hydration. And then we need these for running in the middle of the night. And I somehow got this pillow to fit because I'm gonna need every single second of sleep I can get. So this was all at 10 p.m. and the plan was to be asleep by 11. But I was so excited and there was so much adrenaline through my body that I ended up sleeping at 1 a.m. and I woke up exhausted. I just woke up like 5 minutes ago. It's 5:20 a.m. I'm gonna take a shower because I'm exhausted, and I'll see you guys at the meetup spot. So the way the event worked was that each company had their own RV, and then each RV had runners from different pace groups. And we were split by pace groups because each pace group was running at a different timing. So from each RV, there always had to be someone driving, someone being a co-pilot, and then usually 2 runners running. And then other people in the car were able to relax, eat, and rest. And now before starting the run, we all met in this huge parking lot where all the RVs were parked, and we essentially set up ourselves for the run. So we opened the fridge, put all the food in, we made sure the RVs were clean, and we set up everything we needed before we were going to start the event. And for one final time before we started the run, we all huddled up and we did the chant that we've been doing at the end of each training session. And then after that, we all went back to our RVs because it was time for run number 1. Now run 1 and 2 were back to back, but honestly they were pretty calm because run 1 was with all the pace groups, so it wasn't that much of a fast pace. But then run 2 was the first run with my pace group, but because everyone was so excited and there was so much adrenaline, the 10k passed by like this. Now by the end of run 2, we had done 15 kilometers and we finished at around 12 p.m. And then run 3 was at 6 p.m, so we had a 6-hour rest. But run 3 was going to be a 15-kilometer run. Now I honestly think what made run 3 so difficult was that I had barely slept the night before, and my legs were also starting to feel a bit of pain from the 15k we had done earlier. But I pushed through. Everyone in my group was quite motivating in the last 3-4 kilometers, and we had now done 30 kilometers for runs 1, 2, and 3. Run 3 finished at around 8 p.m. and then finally I was going to have some rest until 4 a.m. And luckily I was able to get around 2 hours of sleep, but when I woke up I was actually exhausted. After we finished run 4, which was a 12.7 kilometer run, we all parked the RVs in this place where we were able to watch the sunrise. And honestly, it was so beautiful. We just finished the 4 a.m. run. It was around 13 kilometers. Honestly, it wasn't as bad as I thought. The weather was pretty nice, but the run before it was deadly. It was like a 14.7k run. So yeah, we're 43 kilometers in and we have around 70 left. And yeah, look at this, the view is beautiful. Beautiful view. We have a bit of a break now between now and the next run. And the next run is either an optional 10k run or an optional 23.7 kilometer run. I'm still not sure which one I'm gonna do, but we'll see then. Anyways, the view is beautiful, so I'm gonna enjoy it now, and I'll see you at the next run. Peace! And then we had run 5. And run 5 was deadly. Deadly is an understatement. It was so hot, it was so humid as well, and the problem was, in every run, we would have like a truck with us. In case people got tired or wanted to use the bathroom, they were able to raise their hands and then sit in the truck. But the thing is, this truck had 3 seats for people to like sit on if they weren't able to continue. By the 11th kilometer, there were no seats left. The 3 seats were taken. So even when I wanted to give up, there was no space for me to sit in the car. Which I'm honestly glad about right now, but when I was running, I was like, oh, I wish there's an empty seat. But I'm glad I was able to finish it, because honestly, this is when my mind was genuinely telling me, oh, it's fine, it's an optional 15k run, you can give up, but I really kept pushing through, and we got the 15k done. And then after finishing run 5, which for me was my biggest achievement throughout the whole run, because it was the closest I had gotten to quitting, they gave us a very nice mini buffet by this place called Thousand Island. I think it was called Thousand Island, but the view was beautiful and it was really nice. So we ended up resting on the island for a few hours, and then it was time to get ready for run 6. Now run 6 started off very calm, but then the last 3 kilometers, I promise you, we were running in rain that I had never ever run in before. It was so much rain. Check this out. Then run 7 was really cool because we got to run through a city in Canada called Kingston, which has Queen's University, and I had never been there before, and I had a few friends that went to Queen's, so it was nice to visit the city and like run through it, and it was a nice 10-kilometer run. It honestly wasn't too bad because runs 5 and 6 were already not the nicest, so run 7, relatively speaking, was quite an easy one. Then came the final difficult run, at least for me, because run 8 had around a 1 kilometer uphill throughout the run. And I think it was like a 15-kilometer run, which we did. Or sorry, no, it was a 13-kilometer run. But at around kilometer 10 or 11, there was this steep uphill that went on for like around 1 kilometer. It was actually deadly. And now throughout the run, if one of us slows down, usually the group slows down. And I was never the person that caused the group to slow down. But when we were doing this uphill, I was fighting my demons. Like I was definitely making the group a bit slower because it was so difficult to keep going uphill. Like every time I thought we were done with the uphill, it just seemed like it wasn't ending. But thankfully the group slowed down a bit for me and I was able to get the run done. And then runs 9, 10 and 11 were honestly very calm because we were so close to finishing, so the motivation was quite high. And especially run 11, we did a 7.5 kilometer run at again the same pace we had all started with because it was all the pace groups together. And then after we finished the final run, we had these really nice showers at this like fancy gym, and then we had like a mini breakfast buffet at the Sheraton Hotel in Toronto. And then after resting for a few hours in Toronto, I think it was like 2 hours, we ended up driving with the RVs back, and I honestly slept for like most of the ride back because finally I was able to calm down a bit. But still, while I was sleeping, I was still dreaming that I was running. Like honestly, this feeling hasn't even completely gone away yet. Like it's just been last night that I was able to sleep without dreaming of running. So it's been like 3-4 days since every single day when I sleep, I imagine that I need to go on a run or something. Now honestly, the biggest takeaway I had from this whole event is that your mind will try to give up before your body does. Because throughout the first 90 kilometers, my mind kept telling me, oh, you're tired. Oh, let's take a break. Oh, it's fine to stop in the last 2 kilometers. All these whispers that were coming up, they were all coming before my body started to give out. So it's important to remember that when your mind starts to tell you you can't do it, you're tired, and you start to hear all this whispering, please remember that you still have like 60% of the tank left. Just because your mind is telling you you can't, doesn't mean that you need to believe it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed listening to the experience and that the video wasn't too long. And I'll hopefully be making another video sometime down the line after I've reflected on what happened in those last 3 days, because even till now I'm still like reflecting on what on earth happened, because so much happened, so many emotions through those 3 days. So yeah, maybe I'll make another video down the line. And if you have any questions about the event or like how we prepared for it, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to answer any questions about it. And like I always say, this is the Debos way. Find your own way. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope to see you soon. Peace.